So, Emmanuel, what are some of the advantages of artificial intelligence? Because I'm just speaking on social media. A lot of people bash artificial intelligence. They talk about it as something that will take away people's jobs. They say this is bad. I haven't really seen the good part of it. So maybe you can highlight some of the advantages of our tech.
So AI has numerous advantages. We've seen that it has helped the legal profession since it was discovered. It has helped the legal profession in a way that legal research is now done in a few hours. I can research, for example, a case which I can't find in a law report for longer hours. But with AI, I can just go online, type up the case, and it will bring up the case. Also,
including Zambian cases.
Yeah.
Oh,
including okay. Zambian cases. Actually, you can even
which one is that one? Which two is that one for Zambian cases?
For example, ChatGPT.
I tried.
For ChatGPT, you can tell it to summarize. For AI, the good part with it is you can tell it, you feed it the information you want to get out. So if you are feeding it wrong information, it will definitely give you wrong information.
What if it brings nothing at all? I tried the Zambian case and it didn't bring what it was. It didn't bring anything. Probably my network, maybe.
No. It's not
probably
about
that. Probably that.
No. Sometimes it's not about the network, but also some Zambian cases are not recorded. They're unreported cases online. So it's like in Zambia, we're not yet that advanced to upload, a lot of cases online.
Maybe this is a gap for like Zambians to fill in, especially in the law sector.
Yeah, definitely. It is a gap. We need to move to the digital age, like other countries are doing, and like basing ourselves like on paper-based thing, on paper-based.
Yeah. And Chimamwe, any advantages, or you'd go with the disadvantages of having this? They'll take our jobs, right?
Most definitely. If anything, actually, there was a research that was being done in Deloitte.
Yeah.
And that research, they had just tried to make a bit of some predictions about what would really happen somewhere in the 2036 if at all we were to continue incorporating the use of AIs in our legal profession. They said that over 100,000 jobs would really be lost. That is, if we were to continue incorporating and putting in the aspect of using AI.
So can you just explain like how would they be lost? Because I read something online that says, I don't know how true it is, but it says a person who's complaining about outtake saying they'll take our jobs, then outtake AL will definitely take their jobs. But a person who knows how to use AL will replace somebody who does not know how to use it. Do you agree with that?
I think I agree with it at some point. Like at some aspect, I agree with that statement.
Yeah. So like, how would they take our job? Like, just give me a breakdown, and for those who are listening.
Okay. Thank you very much. So I'll first start with dubious objectivity. That is, when you look at AI tools or mechanisms, they are quite objectives. They are quite really objective in terms of the way that they respond to instructions and just the way that they tend to obviously conduct their duties, that is, after they've been instructed to do a particular task or duty, as opposed to humans who are actually prone to many different things such as stress, and they tend to be quite subjective in that particular regard. So and you also find that when it comes to artificial intelligence, it is actually fast when it comes to just basically responding to different instructions, and also just the aspect of productivity and efficiency in terms of that it carries out its duties and jobs that it has really been instructed by the instructor. Yes, so those could really be some of the reasons as to why AIs are now seen as a threat to human employment. But essentially, from how I would really perceive it and look at it, is that in as much as people would look at it in that particular area and regard, it's just a matter of us acknowledging the fact that these things just basically complement each other, because it wouldn't really make sense if we were to incorporate AIs in the legal profession alone and then exclude humans. Just as much as it wouldn't really make sense if we were to exclude AIs and then we only incorporate humans like that. So I think it's just a matter of appreciating, and these things really complement each other.
All right, thank you. So, Emmanuel, since we're talking about AL and the law, what do you think are some of the areas within the legal field that have been influenced by AL technology and that should be influenced by AL technology, especially in Africa, and bring it down to our country, Zambia?
So there are a lot of areas which have been influenced by AI. Let's say artificial intelligence has influenced, for example, what we've already talked about, the contract analysis and the drafting of contracts. For example, these days people don't even need someone maybe to draft a contract. I can just go online, type how to draft a contract, and the format for a contract can come up easily. I don't really need to ask someone. And also AI, no wonder we are saying that it can take up a person's job, because these days lawyers are put out, because AI can also give some sort of legal advice, though a lawyer a lawyer can be replaced with that, because it may give you inaccurate advice and stuff like that. But yeah, it has helped a lot of areas. It's also like legal research, let's say legal research. AI can handle a lot of cases at once, or
Wow.
yeah, unlike humans can get fatigued, but
Yeah.
with machines can get exhausted. You can use it for a long time, but for humans, maybe you just read 5 cases, I'm already tired. I just want to
Exactly.
sleep.
Even one, imagine reading 72 pages and you're tired, like done for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Chimume,
Yes.
so how has artificial intelligence been used in the development of new legal tools or software? And if so, how has this improved the legal process? Actually, are there, I don't want to say law firms using these tools?
Yeah, most definitely. They're there.
Okay.
Most definitely. Actually, if you even look at some of the law firms that are around, especially in Lusaka, you find that a lot are even specialized in banking law. And if you look at banking law, basically the be all and end all of it is just the use of computers. And computer is an example of an AI. So yes, obviously the issue of storing data, storing information about about clients or that and whatnot, you'll find that when it comes to data storage and data retrieval, these AIs are quite really are important, and they really take up a huge chunk of the work that humans really wouldn't actually manage to really undertake.
So you mean the accuracy of AL cannot be compared to a human being?
Yeah, it can't.
So it's way better.
It's way better.
Wasn't
Very
it made by a
much.
human being though?
It was made by a human being, but
So if you say its accuracy is way better, that gives me
the only problem with humans are that we are occupied by a lot of things. We can easily forget, but with AI, you feed it a certain program and it won't forget that program. But for humans, our brains are so complex that we see a lot of things and we record a lot of data. So for us to decode some data, it's really difficult for us to remember because of the things we see, like, and the things we record, the things we watch.
okay. So like have there been any cases where AI has been used in legal decision making?
Yeah. There's been
Like in
considerable-
Zambia.
in
I've
Zambia.
seen some articles, documentaries in I think America, where that is happening, where there's an actual robot in the courtroom and defending the person. Yeah, I've seen that, but I don't think I've seen any of that in Africa yet.
We haven't really have that, especially in Zambia, really just breaking it down
Yeah.
to our Zambian legal system, when our courts haven't really have had an opportunity to really just dispense much on the aspect of AIs. Yeah, we are yet to really see how best they'll actually go about that. Yeah, but from the United Kingdom, there are a considerable number of cases that have discussed and talked about the use and the importance of AIs.
And what were the outcomes?
Funny and surprisingly is that the the court were actually, for that matter, it was really the Supreme Court anyway. There's this case of Gogram versus the United Kingdom. The Supreme Court, well, they ruled really in favor and the need for the use of AIs. Yes.
Okay, so forgot my question, but my question was, why is it that it's taking longer for like African? Okay, let me speak of Zambia because I don't know, maybe other African countries have started embracing it. Why is it taking long for like Zambians to embrace AL and really use it? Like you said, some law firms are using it, but there are also a lot of other law firms who are not using it and who are probably not with the idea of using it, because we're so used to, like, I don't know, our system is just so used to paperwork, and we just feel like that's accurate, paperwork and everything. What do you think is like stopping us from really embracing this? Because I don't hear people talk much about AL, only on social media rather. I don't hear conferences, workshops teaching young people what. Maybe they're there, but I haven't heard of those. But what do you think is taking longer for like Zambians to embrace it, or actually the Zambian government to embrace AL and the legal justice system in Zambia?
I think we've just been reluctant in trying to really appreciate the importance of AI, and that has really caused us to really lag behind. And another reason would really be as a result of, the disparity when it comes to the financial status of these institutions. What you usually find that the big law firms are the ones that can really manage to buy the tools or mechanisms that are AI incorporated or automated, as opposed to the growing or the still maturing law firms don't really have the funds and the money to find and just basically buy the tools or mechanisms that are using AI. So that could really be the reason as to why. But essentially, the reason as to why we are not using, and why some people have actually resorted to still using the mechanical way, it's really because we don't really want to. We've just been reluctant to learn, and we are yet to really appreciate the importance and what AI would really do for our legal justice system.
So it's cheaper using a human being at the moment.
No, I think also there's this aspect of course, the taking away of the jobs for most people, because AI will replace a lot of jobs. I think that's why a lot of people have resorted to the manual. For example, let's say the storage of data. We won't need like to have these people to start looking for let's say names of people. You can just easily type the name and then it will just come up like that. So yeah.
Okay, so I had one person saying this, and I want you guys to confirm, since from your research that you've done. So tools like ChatGPT and other tools that I use, basically we were talking about it, and the person just made this comment which I thought about, and I was like, okay, let me just try to bring it on here. He just went like, these tools basically just arrange the data for us. So sometimes you can, for example, if I have an assignment, right, and then I'll go on Google. Of course, Google is going to give me a whole bunch of things to like go through and read and what. Then when I use the tool, it just basically arranges the things that are on, that I can easily find on Google. It basically just arranges the data. And I also want to add that this was created by a human being. So it's like information that's already there, but a person has just brought it in a way that's arranged. So again, is it really, really, really accurate? Because it's like Google is not always accurate most times. So is it really accurate? Should we actually like trust this?
No, and I was saying that it matters with the information you feed it, because if you feed it wrong information, and if you ask the question in a way that it's wrong, it will definitely give you wrong answers. But if you want to get out really good answers, it also matters the way you phrase the question online, or the way you phrase the question. And if you phrase it properly, it will definitely give you the information you want. Again, if you phrase it wrongly, it will definitely give you the information you want.
Yes, but it's just arranged data that could be found on Google. It's just that on Google it's just displaced. Right?
Exactly. So all those things like Google, ChatGPT, all those are AIs. But with ChatGPT, it's just that it's more improved because it's more like chatting with you on a one-to-one basis. Unlike Google, where it's there are a lot of websites which have come up together with a lot of information, and then you just choose which information you want to get out.
Any comment?
No, not really. No comment. Actually, by the way, you had said they really trustworthy. Perhaps I would just basically want to comment on that. So answering that really just leaves much to be desired. But when you look at some of the disadvantages, you would find that in hindsight, they're not so very much trustworthy. And what would really happen is that when you're working with a machine, any fault doesn't really matter the magnitude of the fault, but might even be small, but you will find that the effect tends to be quite very much magnanimous. So that can obviously be a disadvantage on that part, but it is actually trustworthy when everything is really working well and everything is really fine. Because what you even find is that there was even a research that was done about the same AIs, and it was saying that about 23% of the normal routine work of a lawyer can really be taken up by the AI machines. Yeah, so and if you were to look at that, you will even find that they're actually acting as stress relievers in trying to just basically see how a lawyer can start concentrating on other issues and matters that would obviously be more significant as opposed to just doing the usual and normal paperwork.
Okay, so back to AL and the law. So has AL have had any impact on access to justice or the provision of legal services to underserved populations in any country? Let's look at Africa.
Africa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or Zambia. Yeah.
Yes, it has an impact because there are numerous number of cases where lawyers have used AI, artificial intelligence, to look up other like precedents which have been set on a number of cases, and like resorting to these really big law report books, and yeah.
Okay, so an addition would just really be trying to comment on whether the underdeserved population has really been tackled to, or maybe if it has been looked into when it comes to the AI. I would definitely say to some extent, yes, it really has, and this is because of the fact that the 21st century society is now modernized, and what you find is that a perfect number of people are now using phones, and so you find that even the access to justice quite really becomes simple and easy, because you find that those people, in as much as they are actually small, it's a minority group, but they do have phones, so they're really able to access most of the things that really concern their rights, that concerns anything that has to do with the infringement of their existence, and pretty much that.
All right, so if you're just joining us, you're late but not too late. This is the Law Focus Radio Show, and our topic for today is basically all things that have to do with artificial intelligence and the law, and basically looking at the background of what artificial intelligence is. We went on to talk about the justice system and how it has affected the justice system in Africa and the world at large, and everything like that. So if you want to make a contribution, you can send a text, or you can call on the number 0974 150 278. I repeat, 0974 150 278. So Emmanuel, what is the future of artificial intelligence in relation to the law in the next 10-20 years in Zambia? What direction, what is the future generally?
The future for AI in Zambia, I see it expanding because we have to change the notion of how we are looking at things. We really have to do away with paper-based material, like because it will, in fact, it will help us in a lot of ways. Because one, we'll go to the environmental aspect, because paper it comes from trees,
Yeah.
and will save the environment
And
by
people who make paper
replacing
will
the
lose
tree.
jobs.
Yeah. Let's ignore the job aspect, but let's just look at the positives first.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
on.
yeah. So I want to see a future where we use more of AI, because the precision and accuracy of AI is so good, unlike us. Because for us, we get fatigued, but for AI, there's no fatigue. Two, it's AI is less costly. You just need good access to the internet and good network. That's it. But for humans, you need to pay them allowances. No, I can't review this case until you give me the meal allowance. But with AI, you just need the good internet access. That's it.
But don't you think AI will be enjoyed in the legal system? Let me just say AI will be enjoyed, but let's say people who own firms, because if they invest in that, they won't need let's say a lot of lawyers or interns to do that work, because that work will be supplemented by the AI. And then if people are not getting employed, what do they resort to? Crime, and crime
No,
will
no, no.
increase, because people
I,
have to survive. So do you think right now
mm,
Africa, or let me say Zambia, is in a space where it needs, AI in the legal system? Maybe in other sectors I could find it progressive, but in the legal system for now, do you think it should be there?
It's, it is, and I would definitely endorse the need for us to really use AIs.
You guys don't have jobs yet, remember? Yes.
Okay. Actually, the reason is simple. This is the a more modernized society, and what you find is that the the population is really growing, and when the population tends to grow, you find that the demand tends to be quite huge. So, and looking at the aspect of productivity and effectiveness in terms of the way that we respond to the demands of society really does matter. And just looking at the fact that humans will be unemployed, I feel perhaps the best solution to that would really be to look into so much the precise activity that we would really want an AI to be conducting or doing for us. Yeah, and then we also need to distinguish that which an AI can do and that which it really can't do, because we need to realize the fact that an AI is not really complete or absolute in terms of the way that it really performs its tasks and duties. So
But in
it's
the
really a
next
matter
10,
of
20 years, it will be when it develop to that level where it will be able to do like everything that a human being can do. For example, I've been seeing this new robot wife thing on social media. I mean, how far will this go? Because in the next 2 or 3 years, there's going to be, a husband that's going to be made. But we're living in a patriarchy. I doubt if that's going to happen. But all these things, don't you think is going to be, if this continues, there's going to be a level where everything that a human being can do, we're able to do it. Maybe even like 10 times better.
Well, that leaves much to be desired. Quite a lot is really left to be desired, but it still really draws just down to the drawing board of us just appreciating the fact that in as much as it would really seem to be a threat, we need to look so much into the rationale of us having the AIs. And the rationale really has been so much directed to the growing trends of the demands of society, of which desirably humans have really felt to really considerably meet that particular demand. So I feel in as much as we look at it from bad angle and side, we also need to really look at it from a good point and side, and what influence AI will really have and what it will really mean to our legal system. Then about humans, again, it's really a matter of the precision and the preciseness of what duties or tasks we want that particular machine to be really doing for us. Obviously, we need to be regulating so much that we also create some room for our friends who would really want jobs, ourselves actually, because we are all in that particular space where we would want jobs at some time and point.
All right, thank you for that. Thank you for that contribution. So we are coming to the end of the show, but before we just close quickly, I would like to ask each of my guests today to just provide us in closing remarks for today's session, everything we've talked about, what you think, just your closing remarks on this topic. I will start with Emmanuel. What are your closing remarks on this topic? What words do you have for the person listening and for the future of L and the ecosystem?
So my closing remarks would be take more time to research more about AI and what it can do for you. It can do a lot for you. You can search up things like ChatGPT, which can help you like with your schoolwork and everything like that if you're a student. And also, ChatGPT can just help only students, but also lawyers, in fact, or anyone who is listening, not just the legal profession. And also e-resources. E-resources is also a good tool to look up, and just take time to research more on this. And we need people who are future thinkers. Take more time to research on what AI will do for you and its impact in the future. We need such thoughts now, and we need to transition to such things. Yeah. So yeah, anyone who is listening to me or us, just take time to research on this.
Yeah, and Chilumwe?
Okay, so my closing remarks really would just be summarized in the words of Lord Clark. He said it will really be quite unreasonable for us to take away AIs from humans, just as much as it would be quite unreasonable for humans to be stripped away for the sake of the AIs. So really we need to just basically appreciate and understand the role that each and every single mechanism play. What is the role of a human being in this particular field or regard, and what is the role also of the AIs in the legal profession and any other industry, pretty much that kind of a thing. So we need to look so much into those areas and just understand that humans are not absolute. So the fact that they're not absolute, it means that AIs will come in to complement and just fill up the gap, just as much as AIs will obviously won't really be absolute. And then humans were the ones who are even mechanizing them and automating them. So basically, we also need to complement the way that they then respond to the tasks and the many activities that we actually automate them to respond to. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you so much to our guests for coming. You're lovely. Thank you for answering the questions. Thank you for taking your time to come and educate us. We really appreciate it as the Law Focus Radio crew. I was surprised, Emmanuel, you didn't mention that you're a YouTuber and all that stuff. Your social media handle page and everything. Tell the listeners.
So yeah, I'm a YouTuber, and what I really talk about on my YouTube channel, I talk about any aspect of life. Like I post any video from any aspect. Let's say if you need writing, if you have writing issues, I mean, if you need like help in research proposals and everything like that, yeah, I do that. So my YouTube handle is my name, Emmanuel Mangaila, and also on Facebook you can search for me and look me up. On Instagram also I use the same handle, Emmanuel Mangaila, yeah. And I'll be more than glad to help when you look me up, and if you see what I do is matching to what you really need. Yeah.
And then tell us more, just tell us a little bit, or listen a minute, a little bit about legal art. I've been seeing it on some WhatsApp groups.
Okay, wonderful. And we've actually now moved as far as influencing the audience on Facebook, LinkedIn, and we are now moving to YouTube now.
Okay.
So like I had mentioned the time that I was introducing myself, it's really so much about just trying to unleash the untapped potential and success in law students. And this was after a realization that law students, most of the times, if not all the times, are usually frustrated by the so many and so much bulkiness of the work, and they tend to worry so much, which makes it quite difficult and unlikely for them to really realize their potential. So we are coming in as a stress reliever time and again, just to try and see how best we can help women, young law students, in trying to unleash their potential and make new networks, new connections, and really trying to help them grow their personal capacity and development. So we really hinge so much on the particular matter and field, and also we try also to just have a say and word in the national policies, especially that has to do with financial capacities, financial issues and matters, and on the issue of tax and debts. So we are really hinging so much into the economic sector and just trying to see how best we can improve our legal system and our economy as a country.
Great. It's nice to see young people, taking up that action. So
Yeah.
if a person wants to join, what can they do? A law student from Cavendish University, whoever, what can they do to join legal art?
Okay, thank you very much. So recently what we did is we had provided for a link and we had shared it on our different media platforms, just try to see how best we can cover up on a large coverage, of which we really received overwhelming number of people really wanting to join and supporting the brand as well as supporting the vision that we have, which was really good. So that is basically how we are as of now reaching out to so many different people. So we're just basically sharing the link where you can apply, and then we'll review your work and try to see your a bit of some credentials about you. Then we'll definitely, that is, if it means accepting you, we'll definitely do that. Then if it means declining the request, then we'll definitely do that.
Okay. Even if I'm passionate about it, but then maybe I won't try it.
It all depends again with the dispensation of how best you really put up the work.
All right, thank you. So thank you so much, Emmanuel and Chimomo, for joining me. It has been great having you once again. This has been the Law Focus Radio Show. We come every Thursday from 18 to 19 hours and talk about